people that commit shootings and other attacks in the United States being connected to the FBI. Even the mainstream media in America, here and there, has pointed this pattern out. We are being subjected to a colossal mind game, because it is a mind game, because it has to be a mind game. When there's a few of you and you want to impose your will on the many, you can't impose it on 7+ billion people physically. There's too many of them and there's not enough of you. So what you have to do is you have to recruit from the target population and put them in uniform to impose your will on the target population, which is, of course, what happens, why so many psychopathic people are recruited into law enforcement. That's not to say they're all psychopaths, of course not. But there is no doubt a pattern of recruiting psychopaths into these positions who carry out what you tell them without question and enjoy it. This is why there's so many outrageous things happen, like police officers shooting innocent people for no reason. And so if you don't have the numbers to physically impose your will upon everyone, then what you have to do is impose your will psychologically by getting the target population to think and perceive the world and self in ways that suit your agenda, which will get them to not only accept what you want to impose upon them, but demand it. Save me, protect us, this can't go on. And this mind game, which has been unfolding all this period through the 20th century, the present century and beyond, is now being ramped up like never before. And one of the reasons for that is that, as I know, going around Australia in the last few weeks with some more events still to go, there is without question an awakening going on of more and more people, including people within the system, to the point where they're seeing the world and what's happening in the world in a different way. They're starting to see the dots connect. They're starting to see that actually maybe this is not happening because of why we're told it's happening. This is very, very blatant to me. I mean, I've been doing this for 26 years. I've seen the transformation in the numbers of people who are going, whoa, maybe there's another way of looking at this. Never before has it been at the scale it is now, and we haven't seen anything yet. Now, this cabal know that this is going on, and they're trying to lock everything down as fast as possible and get this Orwellian state in as fast as possible. And so we're seeing the whole thing ramped up in terms of events unfolding to get people into fear and into giving their power away to be protected from what they've been manipulated to fear. The antidote to this is two things. One, Quo Bono, which translates as who benefits? Who benefits from me believing the official version of this event, whichever it is? So when these attacks and horrific happenings are reported, and the official version of what happened and why and who did it is reported, just ask the question every time, who benefits? Who benefits from me believing the official story I'm being given of this situation? And invariably, you will find that the only people who benefit are those that want to get people in fear, that want to justify more Orwellian legislation, that want to go in and bomb more innocent people, and want to push the world further along the road to this Orwellian global state of total control. So that is an antidote immediately every time these things happen and the official narrative is reported. But there's one other, and that's for everyone, whether black, white, Muslim, Jew, Christian, anybody, everybody, to realize that this conspiracy to enslave humanity in this Orwellian global state, which is unfolding so fast now, which is why more and more people are seeing it. It's not a conspiracy to enslave Muslims or middle-class Americans or black South Africans or Australians. It's a conspiracy to enslave all of us and our children and grandchildren even more so. And we've got to start growing up and realizing that while we allow ourselves to be played off against each other in these divide and rule scenarios, without having the streetwiseness to ask the right questions when these things happen, who benefits, for instance, if we go on buying these manufactured fault lines of divide and rule, then this Orwellian global state will happen. But it doesn't have to if we realize that whatever the color of our skin or the nature of our culture, we are all in this together, because we together are that target population. Not one bit, not this bit, not that bit, all of us. And if we do those two things, we come together, we put down the fault lines, we create a simple situation and response called respect. Respect for another's culture, but the other's culture's respect not to try to impose that culture on you, and vice versa. To respect someone's religion. I mean, I don't agree with any religion, but if people want to believe a religion, good luck to them, so long as they don't seek to impose it on anyone else. And if we can just find the maturity and the expansion of consciousness enough to live together and respect the differences, indeed celebrate them, then one of the major factors that allows this whole thing to unfold, divide and rule, disappears. And if we can find also the maturity and the expansion of consciousness enough not to accept the official story about the noise. The windows are open, get some air in this place. I should be here at the sun. Anyway, I don't have to, I have been. A lovely place, but warm for me. But if we can find that maturity and that expansion of awareness enough to ask questions of every official narrative and see if it stands up, see if it goes through that filter of who benefits. If we can do these two things, put down the fault lines, ask the right questions, we will see so clearly, A, what's really going on and what's behind it, and B, we will remove the divide and rule that allows it to go on and go on pushing the world down this dark and dangerous road for freedom, which we've been going along for a long time. And because it's been going along a long time, now we're starting to see very clearly not just the bits and pieces being removed, but basic freedoms now being removed in a way that more and more people are finding hard to ignore and just look the other way and hope it isn't true. It is true. And we need to come together. It may sound trite, it may sound simple, but if we don't come together, if we go on being apart and played off against each other, we go on not asking the right questions when these events happen because, oh, he's a conspiracy theorist, then goodbye freedom. Not for one faction, not for one community, for everyone. Come on. Time to grow up. Time to get a grip of this. Progressives should, if they are what they claim to be, should be supporting that struggle of the mass of the people against the control by a privileged elite. Instead, those that call themselves progressives have become supporters of that elite, expressions of that elite, and demonizers of those who are challenging it. The progressives have become the new authority, the new big brother, the new censors. And this 2016 has been, as so many commentators are saying, an absolutely extraordinary period, a watershed in global politics, particularly in the West. We've had these supporters of this constantly centralization of global power called globalization, this more and more power of the few over the many. The supporters of this, like Hillary Clinton, gone. We have people like Matteo Renzi, kicked out after a referendum in Italy. We have Francois Hollande in France, gone. Not officially gone yet, but not standing, finished once his term's over. And we've had Angela Merkel, again, classic promoter and supporter of this elite agenda, now hanging on by her fingertips as a result of her open door policy for migrants in Germany, with the consequences that have come from that. So it's been, add Brexit to all this and other things that have happened in Europe in terms of support for so-called populist groupings. And it's been an extraordinary year in which the people have started to stir, to wake up to what's going on. And my God, so far it's just a fraction of what's going on, but it's a start. And to say we're not having it anymore. Now, what we need in 2017 is for that to kick on. And what I mean by that is to move beyond the idea that the political system, i.e. voting for Trump or voting for this or voting for that, is actually going to change anything. The political system worldwide is so stitched up in terms of who gets to power, and multiple parties, usually two in any country, actually being masks on the same face, i.e. whichever one gets in, the same agenda kicks on. It's to wake up to that and to realize that voting for people to put them in political power, as the system works currently, is just basically moving the deck chairs on the Titanic. And this is the next stage we need to go to.